welcome back to Cherry Picking. Today, we're going to be working on my 1967 F250 Camper Special that we picked up a few videos ago. We got it running after sitting for at least 30 plus years, and well, it's kind of a crusty car. This truck is a really nice example of an original low mileage truck that unfortunately was left out in the desert sun and been vandalized. The hood was taken, a fender was taken, all of this stuff. But today, we're gonna put it back together as best as we can. We're gonna go ahead and comet wash this guy. We have a new radiator for it, or new radiator to put in it, as well as just making it run a little bit better and seeing if we can get it to run and drive just a little bit longer. Bleeding the brakes maybe. We'll see how it goes. But the goal is to get this thing back on the road. So the first thing I'm gonna do is comet wash this guy, or Ajax. If you watch the David Freiberger video, he actually did mention that he thinks Ajax actually seemed to be the best bleaching abrasive used to clean old car paint. Now this truck has a really pretty nice original paint on it that I'm going to be really careful about not trying to strip it down too much, but we do want to take away some of the haze, plus there's some grimy spots like on the roof. So I'm going to go ahead and use this Ajax, wash it just with regular old sponge. I'll use this side on the sides that I need to be softer on, this side for the aggressive. But we're gonna go ahead and get this whole thing scrubbed down. It's gonna take a while, so let's do it. Let's get it over with. Now the way that the comet wash works is you take your panel, nice and hazy. I'm gonna wet it first, and then I'll take some of this Ajax, and I'm gonna try to sprinkle it on as best I can. I'll put some on a wet sponge, and you pretty much just go at the panel. Now I'm using the light side because I don't know how this is going to turn out so far, but this will really bring out the color, bleach some of the rust. Not a ton, but just enough. And then rinse it off. A little bit more of a scrub. And there you go, and kind of cleaned up the paint. And you'll have to kind of see it dry off, but if you compare it to back here, this is a lot more even. Man, this might be a truck I have to clear coat because it looks good shiny. But that's pretty much it. You just work your way down, scrubbing everything, and well, it's gonna take forever. So, see you in a few seconds when we get this whole thing scrubbed down. we've got the truck behind me. We're not finished with the Comet wash entirely, but I did get most of it done. I got pretty much the outside perimeter of the truck. I started on the bed a little bit, but didn't get very far. My arms are killing me and they're about to fall off. So taking a break from it, moving on. But you can actually see how nice this tailgate looks. It's got a few scuffs here and there, and then some caulking. I could probably clean it better even. Just a few things. But you take a step back, I mean, those letters look perfect. And actually, even the taillight lenses look basically perfect. I mean, they're some of the they're some of the nicest original taillights I think I've ever seen. They're still shiny, which is unbelievable because every single pair I've seen that's original is hazy, and you can kind of see the gloss in them if I get you there. Some of this probably can come out more, but this side turned out really nice. This side was a little bit more grungy, as you can see. Definitely has a little bit more spotting, and honestly, I think this thing could use a whole another once over. Now the shade from the trees is really gonna mess up the look on this, but you can kind of see it really did take out a lot of the rust spots. Not all of them, but most of the rust spots were pretty much bleached out. There's a few spots like right here where I could probably go at it a little bit harder and get them out, but overall it's really good. Also, look at the fitment on this door. Look at the fitment on this door. That is like near perfect, factory original. So yeah, we'll probably do another once over, and I actually do have to finish also the cowl, and I think I'm gonna do a little bit of the windshield because it's foggy, but you can kind of see this area is better than it was. It was really dark right here, and now it's brightened up. And the grill is another spot that turned out pretty good. We did have really bad rusting over here, but the rest of it looks pretty nice, so that's a great patina grill, I think. So now we just have to get a bumper and headlight buckets and put the hood, and we do have this fender. I haven't even brought it up. I did get a fender and a hood. Unfortunately, they are, oh, my dad goes in my truck. Unfortunately, the fender and hood I have are obviously not original, and they're not gonna match. I do have plans to paint it, but I had to get something on here, so went to the junkyard and got it. But right this moment, because my arm's about to fall off, I'm gonna continue to work on this thing, making it better for, well, putting around the yard and stuff like that, and trying to get it back to being a driver. And the biggest thing right now is that it needs brakes. It actually runs, you know, ish, but it needs brakes bad. So if I pop off, let's see if I can do this. If I pop the lid and we look in here, you might or may not remember, but there is like no rust inside the master cylinder, and the brake moves free. So what I'm thinking of doing is just taking some brake fluid and just giving it a little drink. Just pour a bunch in there. I'll kind of let that sit. And oh, that brake fluid's not the greatest brake fluid. It didn't have a lid when I found it, so, you know, probably not the best, but that'll at least get us some fluid in there. I think I'm missing a clip. Am I missing a clip? I am missing a clip. Darn. That'll at least give us some fluid, and I'll go ahead and go underneath and crack the bleeders, and we'll try to see if this thing can gravity bleed, because it'd be really nice if I could just do a light gravity bleed, just so I have some sort of brakes. So let that do its thing. All right, well, it's been a few days, and I've done a few things, but let me show you what we were working on, and then let me show you what we're going to now. First things first, the big thing is actually under the air cleaner here, so let me take this off real quick. Let's see if I can do it one-handed. All right, first things first, I've got a different carburetor on here. This is actually a correct C7TF carb. It is exactly a correct 67 carb. I don't remember exactly where it came from, but it was in the garage here with all my other carbs. And it was very clean. As you can see, it's actually really clean. So I actually didn't even clean it up and do anything. I just took the accelerator pump out of the carb that was on here that was already bad and leaking, and I just threw this carb on, and it seems to run pretty good. While doing that, I also had to fix the vacuum advance on the distributor. The old one was the original one, and the rubber insert basically would not hold any vacuum. You could just pull air straight through this, which meaning it wasn't advancing, which is why it was running so crappy. Now it runs really good, although it does still squirt fuel out of the accelerator pump. I will have to rebuild that at some point a little bit better, but for now it runs better and it's a correct 67 2-barrel carb. So those are the two things we did under the hood while we let this thing sit. I think the last thing I did was brakes, so let's talk about those. So brakes were fun. I put fluid in the master cylinder and opened up the bleeders on the fronts, hoping that it would just magically bleed. But as you may or may not be able to see, it's wet on this line. Just got sidetracked by a person trying to buy my wagon just now, but I'm pretty sure it left off. I was trying to let the brakes bleed, was getting no pedal feel, realized that the entire master was completely empty, and so it needed to be bench bled basically because I was getting no pedal feel. So I tried to loosen these and I did really good up until this one started to bend right when I tightened it, and it blew the line, and as you can see it's been leaking. So that is what I need to replace right now. I don't have any brake lines that I can go purchase right now, but I do have a brake line set up from a bump side. I think one with manual brakes, and it's got some pretty good brake lines. They're not in terrible shape and they're still attached to the junction block. So I'm gonna take one of these off. I'll go under here, try to undo that one that I broke and try to swap it over. So that's what we're working on right now. Let me see if there's anything else that I have done. Oh, I did put, I need to get keys. Get the keys out, go ahead and unlock it here. I actually also cleaned the glass. It was really hazy before. Now it's pretty clean. Still gotta put the back glass in it. But I did find a 67 painted mirror, which is exactly what this truck would have had. And it's actually a pretty nice mirror. The front side's pretty rough, but the painted side's really nice. And I also have my parchment 67 visors. I only put one in because I only had 4 screws. I only had enough to do the mirror and the visor, but I just threw those on real quick just so I had them. And then the only other thing that I did is I continued to clean this thing up, which you saw some of it on camera. I cleaned up this door panel and it looks pretty nice. Wow, it's really blown out in the sun right now, but it's pretty clean. You can see there is some sort of, almost like a, let's see if I can show that there, like a haziness in these corners. You can kind of see it over here too, if it'll focus. It's like darker right here. I don't entirely know what it is other than just gunk, but I do believe this truck was smoked in heavily. Just there's been yellow gunk that has come off of the entire thing, even on some of the seals and everything, which you can't tell, but I scrubbed the bottom seal over there and not over here. You can't see it, but it makes a huge difference. I think somebody smoked in this cab. It's got like tobacco stains all over it. The other thing I did was I did a quick paint match with some spray paint on this ashtray, because it was actually a dark blue ashtray, if you remember, or if you saw it in the video. And it's not perfect, as you can tell. It's definitely slightly off. It's a little bit brighter. However, it is actually a really close blue, and you almost don't notice it if you don't look hard enough. So that's what I suggest, don't look hard enough. And doors definitely need seals. This one I'm gonna have to replace this side. The handle is just completely pitted. The other side's not that bad. This side is just rough. And I cleaned up the windows, like I said, some of the window parts. I was gonna try to replace these, but it's so hard to get good 67 pull handles. The ones that they remake are just not good. And then the last thing I did really was I cleaned up the entire window channel. So I got all of the rubber gunk that was in here, and as you can see, I took off some of the paint here because I had to use brake cleaner because this was like melted rubber. And so it did take off some of the paint, although it's not a big deal because clearly the truck's not perfect. I will say the very last thing I did is I took a polisher yesterday just to see if it would shine up, and it is blown out. So you can kind of see a little bit of shininess in this quarter here. I just did just the littlest tiny bit with a fine polish and a wool pad. I didn't even do anything crazy. I just wanted to see how it would shine up. It is nice and smooth. So I think with a rough cut on this entire truck, after doing the Comet wash. I think a rough cut would be perfect with a light polish. I did find some more doinks and dents. There's one right here, very, very minor one. I don't know if you can even see it. You can kind of see the shadow in there. Again, we have this one right here, which I do plan on hammering this out just a little bit, just so it's a little bit smoother, because this one goes in just a hair. And then I think I found one on the driver's door. Let me check. Tailgate looks great, as always. And then I want to say there was one on the driver's door somewhere like right in the middle. Well, I can't see it right now, but I think there was some sort of dent in the door here. But that's all I found so far. Plus, there's a little bit of rippling up front here where they drilled in for the camper. And I cleaned the cowl a little bit more. So yeah, that's pretty much all I've done. Oh, and I got a bumper. Went to the junkyard, as you saw, picked up a bumper, and I threw it on. So now we have a bumper and a fender that has no holes, so I don't have to use this 71 or 2 fender with molding, because it has all these holes that I would have had to fill. Wouldn't have loved that. So I found this fender, which is actually also original paint and is actually in really good shape. It's got one dent somewhere in the top here. I don't remember where. Maybe it's over here. I don't know. There's a dent that's kind of a light doink, similar to the one on the other side of the bed. And then it's got just the slightest hair of a crunch here. You can see where the paint has started to crack. So there is that there, but it's not noticeable. But it's not a rusty fender. You can kind of see there's a little bit of surface rust. The truck that was in the junkyard was really a desert truck. And that's the same one we got the bumper out of, which I scrubbed. This bumper was definitely painted at some point. It's a little bit less bright white than the grill. And you can actually see some yellow poking through and where they painted over some rust. But it cleaned up pretty well. And then we also got the big thing for me, which was actually the window. The bumper and the window were the two big things. Because I have a single piece glass window that now I can clean. I have a seal for it, we can drop it in, and we can have an enclosed cab. So that's a whole lot of explanation. Let's see if I can get this brake line changed out. I'd like to get some sort of brakes. Trying to sell this thing eventually as a running, driving, stopping truck at least. So need to get the brakes done. We'll put new hoses on it, but gotta get this hardline fixed, so let's do that. All right, let's get under here. Take a peek. Gotta get to the brake lines. Yeah, those rubber lines aren't lasting. Okay, there's the junction block. And we want the front line, which goes there, underneath here to there. Okay. Yes. Now, I probably should put some PB Blaster on this, but which I might do that first, actually. Let's see if I can just get it loose here. Oh, boy. Yeah, let's get some Blaster, because it's not going to like that, and I don't want to ruin anything else in this junction block. Probably let that sit for a while. Or not. Let's try to see if we can do it. Maybe over here just a little more. Nice part about working on trucks. Oops, sorry. The nice part about working on trucks is they're tall enough that you don't always have to put a jack underneath. Makes it real convenient. Let's see if we can work this back and forth. I'm gonna try to tighten it first. I normally can break it loose a little bit. What are you? And can I take you off? Oh, okay. Just got a bunch of dust in my eye. It is time to exit the bottom. I can't see. All right, so I got the line off. It was a little bit of a struggle, but as you can see, we've got the new line here and the old line. It's close enough. I mean, it's pretty much the same line. The bend here is a little wonky, but it'll work. So I'm gonna blow this out and throw it on. Now, will this 100% work? I don't know. Should it be good enough? Hope so. Just spray some of this crap off here. They're the exact same size, so let's put them on. All right, the first thing I'm gonna do is feed this, because it does have to kind of go in a certain way, and there is a bracket that bolts to the frame that holds these lines together with some rubber insulators. So I'm gonna try to feed this through there. Okay, this needs to sneak itself under there. I'm gonna get all this fed and bolted down correctly. And that fits right in there. Bend that over just a little bit. That'll be perfect. Okay, and then we will go to the underside and let me go tighten that up real quick. Okay, we've got the bottom all tidied up, so now I'm just tightening it up here at the top. I don't want to over tighten it, but I want to make sure it's tight. All right, that should be good. Okay, now we're tight. Let's check the brake pedal, because there's still fluid in there, and see if we get anything. Anything pushing out? Definitely gonna have to bench bleed some more. Oh, starting to feel a pedal. All right, any wetness? I don't see any. Okay, success. Well, that's a relative success, because now we at least have a hard line. Oh, I didn't check the underside though. I don't see anything leaking. I'll go under there and check in a minute, but everything looks dry, so I'm going to assume it is. And then here's our old line, which you may or may not be able to tell, but there's a split right in here. It's maybe too bright outside to see. You see that split in there? That's our problem. It actually started twisting when I first loosened it because it was so rusty it was stuck. And then I worked it back and forth and it started to twist, but it was fixing itself. And then when I tightened it back on, I just give it that little bit extra tighten. I actually was done and I went back just to give it a little bit more. And it just cracked it. And yeah, opened it right up. I don't even know if I can split it open, but yeah, I can clearly see it. And it was spraying straight out. I mean, it was pretty impressive how far the stream was. But this is trash now, so I'm going to go ahead and throw this in the garbage because it's split and I'm not going to, it's a rusty line. Not going to reuse it, so I'm just going to bend it so it can't be used. And then we'll throw it in the scrap pile. Sound good? All right. Well, the other thing is we definitely know we still need all the rubber hoses. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to get all those rubber hoses before I can continue on brakes. So next thing you're going to see is probably that, me putting on some rubber hoses and hopefully bleeding some brakes and hopefully getting some sort of brake feel. I'm hoping I don't have to, fingers crossed, redo the wheel cylinders entirely. Everything else has been extremely dry and not too rusty like the inside of the master cylinder, so I'm hoping the cylinders are like that as well. Guy can hope. So I'll see you then. Oh, and I almost forgot to show you how much better it runs now that we've got that new carb on there. So let me start it up for you and show you. 'Cause it's significantly better. I also checked the gas tank in the cab, that the gas tank actually has virtually zero rust, but a bunch of caked up crap at the bottom. Not crack, it's all cracked, but it's got a bunch of crap at the bottom. So am I gonna do anything about that? Probably not. Am I just gonna pour gas in there and run it with a few fuel filters till it clears itself up? Probably. All right, this should start up. We'll give it a tap or two. Make sure it's in neutral. All right. Squeeze or two. You might be able to see that gas. Starts right up. And now it's got vacuum advance on it, so you can actually rev on it. It pops a little bit. It's got, you know, it needs to be worked on. I didn't touch the car. I just threw it on there. But it runs okay. So yeah, that's cool. The choke's a little stuck, so I can't close it at all. We'll work on that. You gotta clear it out. We still haven't warmed this thing up fully. Yeah, as much as I've ran this motor. We still haven't warmed it up completely. It's still, well, it's still, you know, needs to cycle through once we put the radiator in, which we're going to do shortly here. So anyways, whatever I said was next. Brakes, radiator, who knows? You'll see it.
You're going to slide this corner onto here, not that corner.
I can already feel it kind of going in. Oh, okay. Apparently that one didn't. So my dad is using cotter key pick tools to basically slide underneath the rubber and pull it around the edge of the lip. And the hardest part is definitely this bottom corner, just because once it's set in, everything else can smooth around it, but it's got to get set in place. And did the bottom real fast, as you saw. And already got that other corner pretty much done. Okay, don't scratch my window. And once we get this corner, it should be relatively easy from there. We'll have to push down a little bit. Oh, actually it's sliding down. But there we go. Back window in. Now this is a sealed cab. All right, and there we go. We have a sealed back cab with some glass. Now some guys use twine. That's the one that everyone sees. You put twine in the channel and you pull it out, and well, that's one way to do it. But using those cotter key pin picks, cotter key picks, whatever you want to call them, using it that way and just pulling the rubber out, they hook over, so they kind of slide across. And my father says the Craftsman ones specifically, because they have a dog leg on them, so they kind of kink over, and that makes it real easy. And as you can see, that took basically, I mean, you didn't see it, but it took basically 10 minutes. My total recording time was about 10 minutes, and it's in. Now I will say that I don't know if this is the glass or what. It does feel like there's a little bit of looseness in there, almost like something's not fully set in or something. I don't know. I'll take a look at it, but there it is. Well, that's pretty much going to be it for today's video. I wish I could have gotten more done, but time is just not on my side, and well, there's a lot of things to do on this truck. So just to recap, since it's been multiple weeks since recording this video, we comet washed the entire truck. I did put a front bumper on it, although I don't know if I even showed that on video. I put a new carburetor on it, put the back window in it, replaced the brake line, got the master cylinder bench bled, you know, little stuff. I also did put a radiator in it finally, so I'll show you that in a second. But yeah, I mean, we're just moving right along, and in the next video you're going to see, we're going to continue to turn this thing into a driver by basically blowing apart this front end, painting everything under the hood, painting a new fender and a new hood, and hopefully getting it reliably running and driving, maybe even fixing the brakes. So anyways, we'll see you here next time on Cherry Picking. If you like this video, be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe even if you want to see more content like this, and thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. See ya.